You're about to hear something that was never meant to leave a sealed debrief folder. Not because it's unbelievable, but because it's too believable once you start connecting the dots. This isn't a ghost story. It's not folklore. It's not even something we joked about afterward. This is a field account. And it starts like every other mission we ran in southern Afghanistan. Routine, procedural, forgettable. At least, that's what it was supposed to be. I was part of a joint special operations detachment operating out of a forward staging site roughly 40 kilometers southwest of Kandahar city. This was late autumn, dry season settling in, temperature swings sharp between day and night, visibility mostly clear except for the occasional dust veil rolling across the flats. Our unit was small. 8 men. Mixed skill sets, communications, demolitions, recon, medical. I was the team's assistant team leader. Staff sergeant at the time. 12 years in, multiple deployments, nothing that shook me in a way I couldn't rationalize. Until that operation. The mission briefing was straightforward. We were tasked with conducting a reconnaissance and site verification of a location flagged during aerial surveillance. The coordinates pointed to a partially buried structure along an old trade route, something not marked on modern maps but faintly visible in older Soviet-era imagery. Command suspected it might be an insurgent cache or a temporary relay site. Nothing unusual. We rolled out just after 0300. No convoy. No heavy presence. Just 2 light vehicles and a drone overhead for overwatch. The terrain out there is deceptive. Flat at a glance, but broken with dry wadis, collapsed stone lines, and remnants of structures that predate anything modern. You don't notice them until you're almost on top of them. We reached the outer perimeter just before sunrise. That's when things started to feel off. At first, it was subtle. Our comms operator mentioned a faint static bleed on the secondary channel. Not a full disruption, just intermittent interference, like something brushing against the signal. We checked equipment. Everything came back green. Then the drone operator reported visual distortion. Not loss of feed, just warping. Like heat shimmer, except the temperature hadn't risen yet. We logged it. Continued. Standard procedure. The structure itself wasn't what we expected. From above, it looked like rubble. On the ground, it was something else entirely. Massive stone blocks, partially buried, arranged in a circular pattern, deliberate, not collapsed. The outer ring was broken in several places, but the inner formation was intact. No modern materials. No recent activity. No footprints. No trash. Nothing. And that was the first real red flag. Because in that region, nothing stays untouched. We established a perimeter. 2 men on overwatch positions. 1 handling the drone. The rest of us moved inward to assess. As we approached the center, the air changed. It wasn't dramatic. No sudden drop. No visible fog. Just stillness. You know how even in quiet places, there's always something? Wind, insects, distant movement. There was none of that. Complete absence. Even our own movement sounded muted. Our medic was the first to comment. He said it smelled different. Not rot. Not chemicals. Stone. That's the only way he described it. Like the inside of something that hadn't been opened in a very long time. At the center of the formation, we found an opening. Not a cave. Not a tunnel in the modern sense. A vertical shaft, perfectly cut. Edges smooth. Too smooth. No tool marks. No erosion pattern that made sense. We dropped a light. It didn't reach the bottom. That's when command came over comms asking for a status update. We gave them a standard report, structure confirmed, no hostile presence, investigating further. They acknowledged. Nothing unusual in their tone. But when we tried to transmit imagery, it failed. Every time. The files wouldn't send. The connection didn't drop, it just refused to transfer that specific data. We switched devices. Same result. We decided to descend. Protocol would usually require waiting for a larger team, but based on the assessment, command cleared a limited entry. 2 men down. 2 up. I went in with our team lead. We rigged a rope and began the descent. About 15 feet down, the temperature dropped. Not slightly. Noticeably. Our breath started to show. That shouldn't happen in that environment. Not at that depth. We continued. 30 feet. 40. At around 50, our lights started to behave strangely. Not flickering. Dimming. As if the beam itself was being absorbed. Then we hit the bottom. The chamber below wasn't natural. That was clear immediately. Circular walls. Smooth like the shaft. Carved, or formed. In the center, there was a structure. Not large. About waist height. Rectangular. Stone. And covered in markings. We didn't recognize the script. But it wasn't random. It had pattern. Symmetry. Intent. Our team lead began documenting. I covered perimeter. That's when I noticed the ground. It wasn't dust. It wasn't sand. It was worn. Like something had moved across it repeatedly. Same paths. Same arcs. Over a very long time. We called up to the surface team. No response. Not even static. Just silence. We checked internal comms. Those worked. So we continued the assessment. Because that's what you do. You don't jump to conclusions. You observe. You document. You stay controlled. Then we heard it. Not loud. Not sudden. A low-frequency vibration. More felt than heard. It came from the walls. No, through the walls. Our lights dimmed further. The markings on the central structure changed. Not physically shifting, but becoming visible in a way they hadn't been before. Like they were responding to something. Or something was responding to them. We backed away. Slow. Measured. No panic. That's important to understand. No one lost control. No one shouted. We maintained discipline. Because even then, we didn't know what we were dealing with. Then the rope moved. Not fell. Not snapped. Moved. As if something above had brushed it. We called up again. Nothing. Our team lead made the call. We were going back up. Now. We secured gear and began ascent. Halfway up. I looked down. I shouldn't have. But I did. And I saw movement. Not clear. Not defined. But something shifted across the chamber floor. Large. Slow. Deliberate. We reached the top. The surface team was still in position. But they looked wrong. Not injured. Not disoriented. Just focused. All of them staring toward the center of the structure. Not at us. At the opening. Like they were listening. We pulled out immediately. No debate. No further investigation. We mounted vehicles and moved. Once we cleared the immediate area, comms came back. Full signal. Clear transmission. Command asked for a status update again. Same tone, same calm. We gave a partial report. No mention of movement. No speculation. Just facts. Back at base, we went through debrief. Standard procedure. But this one was different. They already knew parts of it. Details we hadn't transmitted. Coordinates matched older records. Not military. Archaeological. Pre-Islamic. References to something described in fragments of local oral history. Not a creature. Not a deity. A guardian. Something placed. Something bound. Something meant to remain. We were told not to discuss it outside official channels. Our footage. Classified. Most of it never shown back to us. The site. Listed as geologically unstable. Restricted. No further operations scheduled. Months later, I spoke with an interpreter who had grown up near that region. I asked him, carefully, about old stories. He hesitated. Then he told me something I haven't been able to forget. He said there were places in the desert that weren't abandoned. They were left alone. Not out of fear. Out of agreement. He said some structures weren't built to keep people out. They were built to keep something in. I've gone over that mission more times than I can count. Every detail. Every decision. Trying to find a clean explanation. Equipment malfunction. Environmental anomaly. Psychological stress. All possible. All reasonable. But none of them explain the same thing. That movement. That presence. That sense. That we weren't trespassing into something forgotten. We were stepping into something that was still aware. Still there. Still watching. I've been on dozens of operations since. Different countries. Different terrains. Different threats. But nothing has ever felt like that place. Not before. Not after. The official report? Condensed. Sanitized. Filed under environmental irregularities. No further action required. But if you ever find yourself out there, far from the roads, far from the noise, and you come across stone that doesn't belong, structures that don't show up on any map, and a silence that feels intentional, don't investigate, don't document, don't go down, because some things aren't hidden, they're contained, and sometimes, the only reason they stay that way is because no one disturbs them. That's all I'm going to say about Kandahar, because even now, I can't shake the feeling that whatever was down there knew we were leaving and chose not to follow.